Let's read about the importance and values of wildlife. So I have included in the left side the most important values and the importances of the wildlife, and we will discuss these all terms. All the values one by one. Let's first see the first one. This is the ecological values. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so ecological values. If you see the ecological values, then we know ecology includes all the animals and plants which are living together, and they are interacting with the environment and all these things. So they also have small components like the food chain, wave, communities, all these things. Okay, so we will discuss all these. So if we see the wildlife, then we know that they are they play major role in the food chain. Okay, and also the biogeochemical cycle are also played by the uh, wildlife animals and plants. uh, there are many biogeochemical cycles. You know very well that, like water cycle, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle, okay, carbon cycle, all these. So biogeochemical cycles are also means playing role, very well role played by the wild animals and plants. Next, population balance and regulation. Because wildlife contains the all type of animals, not including not only the carnivores. They also include the herbivores. They also include the omnivores. Okay, so actually they balance, they regulate all these things. Likewise, one number, if a number of the carnivore is increasing, then what will happen? The herbivores number will be diminished or decreased, because they will eat all those type of the herbivores. And what will happen? The eventually greenery will increase, but carnivores number are higher, and they are not able to eat any herbivore, because herbivores are not available there. So automatically nature will not support them, and the carnivores number will decrease. And after that, the herbivores number will again increase, start increasing, or by introducing these some herbivores that area, and nature will automatically regulate all these things. Okay, so population balance of the, whether it is of the carnivore, whether it is of the herbivore, whether it is any of the plant or animal, so these things are regulated, uh, wild animals and plants. Okay, so wildlife regulates itself. So population balance and regulation is very uh, in a very managed manner, regulate automatically. Next is the ripple effect. Ripple effect, we can say this ripple effect as the uh, s- wave effect kind of. You know, ripple means, suppose there is a water body, and if I throw a stone in the middle of this one, then you will find that they will make the some kind of the waves, and these waves will reach up to the uh, edges of that water body. Okay, to the edge of this one. Okay, towards the bank. So after one wave, the second wave again makes itself makes and reaches up to there. Okay, so this is called as ripple effect. Okay, it sometimes, if we talk about the uh, Catastrophism, likewise, the earthquake is happen in an area, then what will happen? A large building is collapsed, then what will happen? The next building, which is just vicinity to that building, will also be affected. So this is also called as collateral damage. Okay. So collateral damage is also a type of the ripple effect. So ripple effect, why I am talking the ripple effect? Likewise, I told you that suppose one population is decreasing by a group of the animals, then what will happen? The second population will automatically increase. So uh, its effect will uh, affect the another group as well. So this is called ripple effect. So ripple effect always happen in the wildlife, but nature itself regulate them. Okay. So this is the very important aspect. If we read or if we study the ecological value of the wildlife. Next, pollination. Pollination is most important part. Otherwise, what will happen? The plant will not grow. Okay. So pollination is the most important, uh, and it is happening or it is causing by the birds, bees, insects. Okay, and tetrapod animals who have fur and all these things. Okay, so mostly pollination does by the birds and bees. Next, remove or decrease pest. This is called as self pest management. Why self pest management? Because you know that there are many techniques which are known as the uh, biological pest management. Do you know what is the biological pest management? Suppose there is a pest, okay, and it is controlling by another kind of the animal, because pest is an animal and it is controlling by another kind of animal. Then what? This is called as self pest management. I want to give you one example. Like there are lots of number of the rats or mice increases in an agriculture farm. Then what will happen? The number of snakes will be increased, or those snakes will come to their area and they will eat the rat, because there is that area is now a time rich of the sources for the snake. So if one species is increasing, the second species will automatically decrease it. Okay, and after the reducing the population of this rat, or almost whenever it will reach up to zero, then what will happen? The snake will not live there, because now they are not able to eat anything which is for there. So what will happen? They will leave that place and will go for the another area for the foraging or searching for the food. So nature has itself a self-paced management. Similarly, happens for the other things as well, whether it is for rat, whether it is for insect. Okay, so this is called the self-paced management. And we also see the whenever attack of the locust and any other kind of the animal happen, then what will happen? The another kind of the birds and who are the predator for them. Okay, their number will increase in that area and they will eat them and automatically finish them. So ecological balance is happen by the wildlife. Okay, it is uh, very most important thing as well. Next, cleaning by the scavengers. Suppose uh, there are many number of animals got died in an area, then what will happen? They will be automatically reduced. Okay, or they will automatically will be cleaned up by the another kind of animals who live there. Likewise, uh, vulture. Okay, so vulture is an animal who is the scavenger. So scavengers eat those dead animals and they clean the environment. So it is happening in the wildlife. Okay, vulture are not bad animals. They live in the wildlife and they clean our environment. Okay, so that we can feel the fresh air as well. Okay. Next, economical values. So, if you see the economical values, then we can see there are lots of economical values of the wildlife. Okay, likewise, plant products. So if you see the plant products, then we get lots of plant products, including medicines, fruits, timber, fire, wood, natural rubber, gum, resins, tannins, essential oils, honey, etc. Okay, so actually, why I included honey here, because honey is also made by the nectar. Okay, okay, made of the nectar and made by the honeybees. So that's why I included honey here as well, and honey will also come here as well. Okay. Next, animal products. If you see the animal products, then there are lots of animal products: hides, horns, ivory, fur, oils, honey, etc. Not including the animal and plant products. Also, they are using for the edible purposes, like fishing is happening. Okay, and as well as hunting duty or taxes in some countries. Some country also provide some kind of the taxes. Also provide some kind of the hunting duty wherever uh, some wild animals are attacking to the human population. Okay, so there are some hunters who do this work for the finance. Okay, so government finance them, they give the money to them, and they are doing this activity. So this is a legalized kind of the channel in some countries wherever wild attacks are commonly seen. Okay, also some kind of the taxes are also imposed by the uh, some governments. And what kind of these taxes are? Likewise, some animals are capturing and selling to the other country. So if there are lots of animals in a country, and they want to sell and get some money, then this is also uh, legalized in their country. So they also generate some kind of the revenue by these taxes. Okay, so it is not in the all countries, in some countries. Next, wildlife photography. So if you had gone to the uh, wildlife sanctuary or to the national park, then you had seen there are some boards always there, and they take charges of the high resolution cameras, like the 500 rupees or 100 rupees, and some kind of the, because they know that the those person will use them for the wildlife photography, so they take charges, okay, for these things, and these charges uh, increase the government's revenue. So wildlife photography is also help for the economical values. Next, tourism. Many of the tourists, and we also go for the wildlife sanctuary, national park, biodiversity reserves, zoo, and all these help for the generating the revenue to the government. So tourism is also another important aspect. Next, collection of the specimens for the museum. This is also happens, uh, and it is a kind of the source of income for the many persons. They are collecting these specimens. Likewise, you had seen in the sea bank areas or seashore areas where some uh, persons always go and collect some kind of the animals like the crab or molluscan shell. Okay, so and they are selling to the some museums and all other things, all other kind of the areas where they are using for the exhibition purposes or for the study or for the teaching and research kind of purposes. So these specimens are collected by them, and they also get the some money for them. Next, sports and enjoyment. You know very well that there are lots of games which include the animals, like the polo, which include the horses, and also some reindeers are also included in games. Okay. Recreation and fun. This is also include the animals. Okay, and even some kind of the plants are also using for their, okay, like the hanging kind of the recreation. Okay, and some bullfight, cockfight. Okay, these are also included in this. And bird watching and wildlife photography, as I told you in the last slide. So they also using for the sports and enjoyment as well. Okay, some person always go there for the bird watching and do the photography, which is for their enjoyment as well. Next, scientific values. If you see the scientific values, then we will find that there are some educational tools as well. Okay, every institute generally do the educational tools, and they uh, uh, show their students the wildlife sanctuaries or national parks or zoo or some nearby areas wherever they can go. So the wildlife plays an important role to study. Okay, so that's why educational tools are help them. Also, medicinal plants and drugs which are found in the wildlife, and there are many stories, and there are, if you see the Ayurvedas, then you will find lots of medicines are available in the wildlife. Next, test of the medicine, vaccines, drugs on animals. Although this is not good for the animals, but these kind of the activities are done by some laboratories and some pharmaceutical companies or industry on they test their vaccines and medicines on the animals. So of course these are useful for the scientific values. Next, model organism to study or experiments on the many branches of the science, including the physiology, comparative anatomy, embryology, genetics, clinical studies, medicinal research, and so far. Okay. Study of the animal behavior, which is called as ethology, which is an important branch of the science wherever we read and study the animals in their natural habitat and natural activities, okay, without disturbing them. So this is very important, another uh, branch of the science. Okay, so it includes the scientific values. Next, ecological studies. As I have already discussed in the first part of these potencies or values, there was the ecological values. Next, population based scientific research. These are done by many institutions. If you see the Wildlife Institute of India, WII, they have it all always do these kind of the study. Not only these, many other type of the studies are also going on. But why they do these kind of the studies, population based studies, because they counting the animals just for the to ensure that whether they are growing normally or if they are hunting by any animal, or maybe killed, maybe they are died because of a specific kind of the endemic, maybe there or a disease. Okay, so that's why they always do these kind of the research and uh, take the actions accordingly. Next, genetic resources. Wildlife is a good genetic resource. Why? Because they provide the pure breeds or pure genes. You know, there are if we study the genetics, then we know that there are two type of gene. Okay, one is the wild type, Second, we always read about the recessive type. Okay. So what does it mean? Wild type are always pure and recessive are always mutated. So if you see the pure breed, then you will find them in the wild. Okay. So that's why wild type animals are good source of the wild genes, and scientists collect them from there. Okay. So fauna and flora have pure breed, and they are collected by the scientists. Okay. Genetic engineering, which is important branch of the science, and everyone knows about it nowadays. So they are also have some giant hand with the industries, and they are uh, generating the good type of breeds. They are increasing their number by the adding some kind of the wild genes or important kind of genes. They are finding the genes and introducing them into the another breed, which have deficiency of these. So they are uh, doing the eugenics kind of the activities, means they are generating the greater or they are generating the best type of the crops and best type of the breeds. So that's why they can get the high productivity cure of the they are also finding the some solutions to cure the diseases, pest resistance, as we had seen one example of the bt cotton. Okay, so bt cotton have the gene which can save them from the pest which are insect. Okay, so these genes are introduced. They were not actually there in the uh, nature naturally. Okay, so these genes were introduced them and uh, made the good amount of the income. Okay, next, salt resistant. So many of the area have some limitations, like the somewhere temperature is higher, somewhere salt condition is different. So all the plants are not able to grow in all the areas. So that's why scientists do the some genetic changes. Likewise, they have ability of the pest resistance. Similarly, they have the salt resistant as well. Okay, they have some kind of the less water resistant as well. Okay, means they can grow in the less water as well, in the desert areas as well. Okay, so these type of the adaptability are done. Likewise, the as I told you, the temperature or less water or salt. So climatic adaptability are also generating by the genes. Next, improvement in the wild farming. Okay, so as I told you, the animal farming, sorry, not only wild, animal farming is also done. So we always get these important genes from the wildlife as well, because they have good type of resources. And that's why scientists make the gene banks and semen banks for the breeding programs. And these all are collected from the wild. If you see the aesthetic values, then we will find there are some these are related to the our thinking, our behavior, and to ours what we can feel. Okay, so these are the aesthetic values. So aesthetic values include the natural beauty. We always like the natural beauty, like the greeneries, colorful flowers, birds, butterflies, insects. Okay, we see them. We like to see them, like to hang their portrait in the our houses and hotels and many other. Okay, so natural beauty attracts to everyone, and this is the actually adding the aesthetic value to the wildlife. Okay, decorations, as I told you, the in the houses. Okay, we draw the butterflies. Okay, many persons like the butterfly tattoos. Okay, so if you go to the wild areas, then it gives some kind of pleasure. not only visiting to the area, their melodious sound of the nature and animals, like their natural calling, their river, natural sound of the river, okay, and breeze, all these are attracting to the animals. Sorry, attracting to the humans as well and other animals. Their special kind of the fragrance of the different flowers, which are only available in the wild, okay, in the forest. So we feel some kind of the good and always feel the stress free or reduced type of the condition, okay, and provide the healthy and happy life. So these things are adding some aesthetic values to the wildlife. Also, some forests are called as lung. If you see the Amazon is called as lungs of the earth. Why? Because it is generating so much oxygen. So these are also important for our life. So they provide us stress-free environment, stress-free condition, provide us health, happy life, and also oxygen and all these things. So these type of aesthetic values are included in our life. So not only these things, but cultural and religious values are also added by the wildlife. If you see the cultural and religious values, then their its list is too long. I have tried to include it, uh, some of them examples. Okay, let's see. Sacred or protected type of the areas or holy areas are also included in some religion and societies. If you see the cow, it is holy animal, the Hinduism, Jainism, and Zoroastrians. Okay, and if you see the bees, then these are holy for the Islam, lamb in the Christians, and black buck or trees in the Vishnu community of the Rajasthan, and sacred groves in the some tribes of the Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so these are some examples which are known for the holy or protected and sacred type of the in that particular uh, localites or regions. So actually, the main reason behind them is that because they like them and they want to protect them. Okay, because they think that these are holy for them. So this is uh, saving the wildlife. Not only these things, also we offer the flowers and mosques and temples to the god and goddesses. So this is show our attraction with the wildlife, okay, some attachment of towards the wildlife. Animal symbols are seen on the seals of the Indus civilization. If you read the Indus civilization, then you will find their seal have lots of animals. Okay, it means it shows that they love the animal. And nowadays we also see the animals on our currency as well. So these symbols show our love with the nature. Mythology also includes these animals and plants. If you see, then we will find that in the Ramayana, Mahabharata, ashram of the saints were always seen in the forest as well. Some vehicles of the god and goddesses are also included. Okay, if you see the vehicle of the Lord Shiv, then we can find that this is the bull. Okay, and rat is the vehicle of the god uh, Ganesh. Okay, and similarly, there are lots of vehicles and animals are related to the god and goddesses. Okay, so we feel some kind of the attachment with that animals regarding the god. Okay, even they are including the Matsya, Varaha, Narsimha, Hanuman. These are actually animals, but we worship them as god. Okay, so we, because we know that they are type of the animal, but they were uh, the god. Okay, and that's why uh, animals and that's why human always protect them, and they somewhere they also worship those animals as well nowadays even. Likewise, I want to take the one example of the uh, langur, or means ape. Generally, it is called, commonly it is known as human langur. If you see the Somnopithecus antlers, okay. So this is an example which is the called as human langur. Okay, so ape and monkeys are known for the uh for Hanuman, so they are worshipped. Okay, so not only these, even Hisses and Vara, if you see the Narsimha, these are actually all the type of the gods. If you see the tales of Panchatantra, which we have heard in our childhood many times. So these are also related. They are adding the cultural and religious values. Uh, they are giving these some kind of the attachment to our attachment to the animals. Okay. Mother like personified to the earth, which is called as Bhumi, Prithvi, and we also like, many of the persons like to say that Mother Nature gives us air, Mother Nature gives us this, Mother Nature gives us that. Okay, so we like to say nature as mother. Okay, so these are personified because we regard that nature, we like that nature. Okay, so this is kind of the uh, values are also there. Trees are also worshipped. If you have heard, the many of the trees are worshipped by the human, like Tulsi, okay, Osimo. People like us, name as a director, okay, and KZD Prosopis. So these trees are also worshipped in many local areas, and they have attachment with them. Okay. Next, ethical values. All the religions and mythologies support these ethical values that our responsibility to safeguard nature and creation. Okay, and that's why they show us. Likewise, if you heard the many example like the Jatayu, like Tulsi, like the many other trees and animals, so you will feel some kind of the attachment with them, and also they are saying that Mother Nature give us the air, Mother Nature give us the water, okay, and everything they give us, like the trees give us the fruits. So it's our responsibility that we have to provide them something which is related to them. Likewise, the water, we have to water the plants, we have to give the fertilizers, natural fertilizers to the plant. Okay, so these type of the, and even we have to save them. Okay, so it's our responsibility to safeguard nature and its creations. So every mythology says this thing. Okay, and that's why many animals are included in the related to the god and goddesses. If you see, give and take type of the approach. As I told you, that if Mother Nature is giving these things, we have to uh, give back or to them, like we are paying back to society. Similarly, we have to pay back to the nature as well. Now coming to the positive and negative values of the wildlife, because it is most important part of the question which is asking in the exam, your exam. So that's why I have included this thing as well. So if you see the positive values, I am now reconcluding the all these values which are told above. Okay, so if you see this some kind of positive values and negative values, so which are positive and negative? Let's see. So if you see the physical utility, okay, like the use of the wildlife of the food, clothing, and other domestic usage. So these are physical utilities, so actually they are adding something in our daily life, so that's why these are the positive values. Similarly, economic or monetary values, as some person always sell the fur, hides, ivory, medicines. Although some are negative, but some are including their economic value. These are the uh, financially resources for them, monetary resources for them. Okay. Next, recreational values like the bird watching, visiting to the park, doing the tourism to the wildlife sanctuaries and parks. Okay, so these are important recreational values. We go for the picnic to there. Okay, scientific values are also helping uh, to our daily life, and that's why these are the positive values like the development of the research, discoveries, invention of the new things. So why? Because we know the animals, and that's why I want to give you one best example here, that the sonar and radar. Okay, so radar is actually based on the echolocation. Okay, so how the echolocation works? We have studied this echolocation from the bats. Okay, so bat teaches us. Similarly, navigation system. Okay, so we have learned the navigation system from the pigeon and other birds. Okay, so there are lots of things which we have learned, or we have learned from the animals. Okay, next, ecological values, cycling of the water, nutrients, and pollution reduction. red- uh, Reduction. So these are happens in the natural wildlife or forests automatically. Have you seen that some program are doing by the government to control their pollution or cycling of the water? No, everything happens automatically because they have such kind of the proper management system. But in our hand, we have to always do the programs to reduce them, because human are uh, doing some kind of the mining things. Okay, doing something which is beyond the cap limit. Okay, next, existence values. Okay, it is the potential to become the valuable in the future, and it helps in the preservation of the genetic diversity, which I have included already in the genetic resources. So this will help to many animals, many plants, and us to grow in better way, and uh, culture a new breed which is capable to do many things. So these are the positive values of the wildlife. Let's see the negative values as well. So because wildlife damage is there, it includes the damage to the agricultural crops, as I gave you one example of the rodent. Okay, livestock and timber. Likewise, our furniture are always uh, damaged by the termite attack. Okay, so they uh, damage our things. So this is the one of the negative values. Now, human animal conflict. It result in the human injuries and illnesses. Okay, so this type of the animal conflict always happens there. Okay, and that's why human are always uh, face some fear with the wild animals. Okay, because they are attacking them. Generally, they are not attacking, but sometimes they are attacking whenever food resources are not available in their area, or some animal go for the hunting to the animals, then it happens. Next, loss of economic productivity, because uh, if there is overgrazing, not only generally grazing, but overgrazing, if it is there, then what will happen? They will lose that economic area. In also, sometimes they come to the agricultural. farms and they graze them, and that's why they uh, do the economic loss to that farmer. Okay. So farmers are always facing this kind of the problem. So this grazing is also a negative value, and also they damage to the plantation. If we grow the plants, many of the plant, and we do not care and we do not protect them from the animals, then what will happen? After some days, you will not find anything there. Okay. Next, wildlife diseases to man, and this is the another important aspect which we have to discuss. And there are lots of diseases which we had seen nowadays and even before as well. So there are lots of pandemic are also uh, introducing in the human population just due to the wild animals. So wildlife diseases are introducing in the man as well. Competition effect. Okay. So there are lots of not only competition. Also want to include here the developmental things. Okay. So government do the development things, developmental projects, and that's why they are decreasing the wildlife. Okay. So because development is there, but the decrease is also there. Even some competitive effects are also can be seen in the wild animals and wild plants. Okay.